All right, here we are for round one. We won the die roll up against Kerwin's Game Store. I think I know this guy. One Daniel Ward, though it could be somebody else from that store. Pretty reasonable hand. Any hand where you have Pilgrimage is a good hand. But basically, that's how this deck works. You want to resolve the Pilgrimage on turn 3. Actually, if he's black-white, I would like to see this matchup. So, Transgress and Eiley. Okay, I 100% know that this is Dan Ward at this point because he is the only person that plays Eiley in his black-white deck. It's actually pretty good here just because he is playing a deck that's normally not got that much pressure, but that does supply him with some amount of pressure. 2/1 Send to Sleep, though, so I have a reasonable line of locking that down eventually. Gonna go ahead and play the Pilgrimage, play land, pass turn. Don't have another ramp spell, but I do have a Hydra, which should be good. Can very likely just morph the Den Protector this next turn, but if I do that, there is a chance that I don't play the Hydra on curve. Transgress, interesting. So he's probably going to take the Hydra. The part doesn't actually do much here. So what we can do is just probably morph the Den Protector, return Arnes's Pilgrimage. Gonna hope he doesn't have Gideon, but nice part about this right now is Den Protector actually lines up very well against Gideon. Like, I play the Den Protector morphed. If he plays a Gideon, I will just be able to attack it over 2 turns. Let's see what he's got, though. I'm hoping he doesn't have it just because I think that if he doesn't have another, like, pressure card, then I'm in pretty good shape. Looks like he's got a Kalidas, which I do not really care about. It will allow him to exile my Den Protector. Could just trade and save some damage. My plan is likely to replay the Pilgrimage and Send to Sleep these 2 anyway. So, yeah, let's trade. This is essentially just gaining me 2 life. The Kalidas will maybe get big, but I'm not really that worried about it. At this point, get back to Pilgrimage. I just want to buy myself time. Once I get tons of lands in play, it's going to be pretty easy for me to find a win, I think. Anticipate's interesting because I can anticipate and then kick the Pilgrimage for an extra forest. I have enough land drop. Well, do I? We just have to figure out. I think Send to Sleep is good here. So we're just going to go ahead and play the Pilgrimage into Send to Sleep. Save the Anticipate. Also, we're going to thin our deck before casting the Anticipate, which should make it a little bit better. But with the parts in hand, like, I do want to just play as many lands as possible. Send to Sleep usually not good in this matchup, but like I said, this Dan's deck is a bit creature heavy, and this should buy me a ton of time here. Like, ideally we're just using a Crush to bounce everything, but I don't mind this either. Gideon? Okay. So we're looking for a Crush. I think Crush is probably just going to be a nail in the coffin here. There's a Part the Water Veil. So we're going to start with an Anticipate. See if we can hit Crush. We get pieces of the puzzle or Vegetation. I think we probably want the Vegetation. Let's think here. We're going to be playing a land. 5, 6, 7, 8 lands. Vegetation puts us to 10. If we don't vegetate, we'll have 8. We won't be able to attack. Yeah, let's just get the Vegetation. Multiple parts will probably get us there. We might not win, but we'll definitely be able to kill the Gideon with the parts. If he transgresses me this turn, that might be pretty gross. Do I get 2 islands, or do I get the wastes? I don't have a mirror pool, but I am going to get the wastes because I do have Lumbering Falls to play as another blue source. He knows I have part 2, so he might actually leave back a token. I imagine he's likely going to have to rumble. Yeah, he makes a token, which is a tight play, I think. Liliana doesn't matter. Yeah, we're drawing super live to win here. Like, this is what happens. They end up on so few lands versus what you have going on. Sorry, I should turn my phone on silent. I apologize. Somebody's messaging me. Let's cast with Awaken. Though we might actually not win here if we don't draw anything in the next 2 turns. So I think I'm just going to attack his face. Well, if I attack Gideon, I think he's probably going to block either way, but removing the Gideon removes his clock a bit. If I attack him, though, I could actually potentially just kill him. If I draw like a Surge next turn, I think. Because if I draw Surge, I can go part, then Surge, bounce his blockers. Let's see what we draw. Pieces would be nice. Emrakul's good. A lot of good draws. Lumbering Falls, not one of them. So let's count here. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 5, plus 5, 10, 11 mana. So if I draw a land, well, one of my lands attacking. So I can attack with both. And 2 Lumbering Falls, which is lethal. So he's going to have to block if I attack face. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Really wish I drew one of my mirror pools and not all 4 Lumbering Falls. Like, the second and third Lumbering Falls don't really do anything. But yeah, he has to block here. Or he's dead. I mean, he's going to have to block. He might as well do it now because I get to untap and I could potentially like send asleep his guys. So he's at 13. We're going to get to kill both of his Planeswalkers here. Actually, no, he's just... Oh yeah, he's just dead. I don't know what I'm talking about. But sometimes it gets away from me a little bit. I forgot that I had 2 6/6s and not just one. I thought it was like 6 plus 3 plus 3, but yeah. But that's, you kind of see it, right? Like, part just ends the game so well, and we even bricked and part ended the game. So playing against white-black, an aggressive white-black list. Normally I would like, well, Deathmist Raptor seems like it could be good, but he's a very creature-heavy version, and he's probably got multiple Kalitas. The other thing is they're probably siding out some amount of removal. This is weird because I feel like my deck is pretty well configured. I definitely want this negate. I don't think Send Asleep is that good. I think being able to stop a Gideon or a Transgress is going to be better. It's possible that Void Shatter is better, or that I want both. He's not an Emrakul deck, so I don't want Orbs of Warding. Void Shatter could be good. I'm not sure how good Advocate is. I think it's good because it doesn't pressure Liliana, but it pressures Gideon pretty well. And he didn't see Advocate in game 1. Very likely to side out some amount of removal. So let's go ahead and just cut. This is something I do when we're boarding in these blue instants. Usually I side out some number of Anticipates just because they kind of operate in the same space, like holding up mana. Like you definitely can. This deck only has 7 islands. Like until you cast a Vegetation or Nissa's Renewal, you're usually very, very pinched on blue mana. So I'm gonna not. I'm going to, like, side out some blue cards. When I side in some blue cards, do I want the Raptor? I could play 1 Raptor. I'm just worried that it's going to be obsolete by Kalitas. It might be better than Advocate, though. Yeah. Let's do it. Because if he does leave, he might be forced to leave in removal. And it does. Deathmist Raptor does line up a lot better against Eiley. He's probably got a few of those. I'd much rather trade my Den Protector than the Eiley. So this hand is a keep. Like we do have a negate to protect potentially from hand disruption or to counter a Gideon. If he does duress us, like yeah, he gets to know exactly what we're on. But I don't think this is a hand I can mulligan. 2 of my better cards in the matchup. But with the pieces and the Den Protectors, we actually don't really. We're not actively afraid of duress. The card that we don't like is Transgress. Okay, there's a Pilgrimage. It's nice. If he plays Liliana here, I probably won't negate and just save negate for later. What's he got? Read the Bones. I am going to negate that just for tempo reasons. Because, so I'm, like what I could do is I could hold up Pilgrimage for Gideon, but I know that his mana is awkward, right? His only black source is this Caves. If he had another one, he would play it. If he had another Caves, he'd probably play that too instead of Blighted Fen, because when he's Read the Bones and he's seeing a lot of cards, he might draw into like multiple duress/green type effects. And now our Nylea's Pilgrimage is also on Spell Mastery. Yes, it's a shame if he does have land Gideon. I'm going to guess that he very likely doesn't have another land, and it's just so bad tempo-wise to pass turn here. Yeah, we might lose to Gideon here, but we have a couple draws. Yeah, he drews a Forsaken Temple. We have a couple draws to find our... Also, it's good against a Transgress. Also, we have a couple draws to find a Surge or to find A ramp spell. Interesting. Yeah, I have tons of lands. I'm just gonna hold on to the Traverse. Unfortunately, we didn't draw a spell there, but those are the beats. Pretty much have a 6-land hand, so I don't like where this game's going. But if he's got a Gideon, we can attack it. He's got a Kalitas, which is mostly irrelevant. And this is Renewal off the top. Nice work, me. All right, now we have tons of live draws, and we're thinning our deck. So it makes all of our anticipates, all of our piece of the puzzles. Everything's much better. We're gaining 7. Gonna be hard to get to Delirium. Pretty much the Traverse is... pretend like it's the 5th land. Because... the 25th land. Because it really doesn't do anything. Really wish I had this Lumbering Falls in play. I didn't actually have an opportunity to use it. Which is unfortunate. Or to play the second one. Then I could attack the Gideon. But we attack the Gideon here. We play the Vegetation. He's probably going to just take it. Oh, he's going to block. Okay. I guess he might Emblem then. If that's his plan. If he takes it there, then like his Gideon, you know, he's just attacking for 2 more. But yeah, our deck is very thin. We have 2 Lumbering Falls. But yeah, as I was saying, the Traverse is essentially the 25th land. It doesn't really do much. And he's drawing Transgress after it. It doesn't matter. Which, even if we had spells, he'd be removing them. So like, our hand actually panned out pretty well. And now he's going to lose his Gideon if he attacks with the Kalitas. So he's either going to make a Knight or not attack with the Kalitas. Which, like, I'm just gaining 3 life and he isn't every turn. And we draw a Mirror Pool, which helps us sort of get to Delirium. It's not a great draw because we have so many great draws in our deck, but I'm still doing good. I still have lots of good draws, you know. Now the Mirror Pool actually makes my draws a lot better, now that I think about it. And I'm at 19. I can double block the Kalitas if he attacks with it. He's not going to. Okay. But you can just see, like, he can only do one thing a turn. And he's at the mercy of the top of my deck. Which should be pretty good now that we've removed most of the lands. Liliana does nothing. Okay. +1, sure. Untapping. But yeah, white-black control is one of the better matchups. I don't even know if I have basics left. Yeah, I do. But if we keep bricking, we might lose. And that's a problem with this deck. Like, your deck is a lot of air. I can actually end of turn copy my Lumbering Falls, which I probably don't want to do. Yeah, we are really on a narrow window here. We have to draw part. We have to draw bounce everything. Let's see what he does before we determine if we want to use our Mirror Pool or not. I guess, well, was I supposed to chump there? Maybe. I guess the Lumbering Falls buy me some time here, which is nice. I don't really think he's got a way of doing anything. Draw? Pieces. Interesting. So now I have to determine if I want to copy that or not. So I have... just play this land. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 mana. I really want to hit a crush. So I think I will copy it. Even though if I hit a part, like, I'd rather copy the part and just win. Not really afraid of anything except for... well, I guess... Ulcer Price doesn't kill land. Only Anguish on Making doesn't even kill land either. So yeah, let's go ahead and... we should make sure I hold control here. Cast pieces of the puzzle, and I will copy it. Which isn't great, but I just want to ensure I hit a crush. If the top 5 cards of my deck are just lands, which is actually pretty unlikely. But you kind of see how, like, the consistency of the deck. Eventually you thin your deck out, and these pieces are going to be insane. Well, I mean, statistically they should be insane. So let's see what we get. Look, we have 4 parts in our deck. We're looking at 10 cards. 1 part, 1 Anticipate. And that gives us Delirium, too. Planeswalker land. No. Oh, Instant Negate. Yep. Okay. First one. So it would have been better off not forking this, but we might just win anyway. A Void Shatter. Nice. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cast with Awaken. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is interesting. If he left Grasp in his deck, he can like blow me out here, sort of. But not even really. Like, I think I just attack. Because my plan is to just play Emrakul next turn. He just scoops. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show you what everything this deck can do. But basically, like, he can't block effectively. I untap. I anticipate. Let's see what we would have drawn. There's DP, Nissa. Traverse for the Emrakul, play it. I have plenty of mana. But that's black-white control. It's a pretty good matchup. He even had, like, a lot more discard than normal and more creatures than normal, which is, I think, the best thing they can do. So anyway, I'll see you guys for round 2.